I'm at 3319 Cheviot Avenue on a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, roof intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. The access point is the stack on the rear right of the basement and behind this white paneling here. You can see that that is the rear of the house, and that is towards the front. There's the bathroom behind this wall here. Or behind everything. This is PVC entry, but it goes through cast iron, and gets to the bottom here. It should switch over to clay. It'd be clay based off of the age of the house. It should be clay the rest of the way out. Looks like I'm going to have to try to run a little bit of water here in this downstairs bathroom to clear off the camera lens a little bit. Just for hitting that goo at the very bottom. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and run some water in this bathroom downstairs for a second. I have been started the water. I don't know if I'm in front of it or behind it yet. Getting a little bit of flow there. If nothing else, we should be able to push out. And then once we get out to the main, should be able to pull back, and after the lens should be rinsed off when we hit the main, and we should see a lot better on the way back. This is clear now, but so this is clay all the way out. It should. So far, everything looks like it's in good shape. A little tiny bit of roots. It's not in the flow line, but it's something that you would want to monitor in the future. It is very normal to get some root intrusion in these old clay lines. They have, they are only like 3-foot sections, so a lot of times, over the years, the packing in between those joints can break down, and it just allows the roots to get in around the packing. If you let them go too long, they can cause structural issues to the pipe. But in most cases, if you catch them early, they're just finger roots. They get in through the smallest of cracks, and then they get their food and water all in one place. So. I'm going to try to turn the water up and flush the toilet a few times down here to try to get the camera moving. having trouble getting the camera to move. Go ahead and try to flush the toilet a few times too. Somebody flush the toilet upstairs. So, somebody just flushed the toilet upstairs, but yeah, I don't know what's going on, but close to the main. I'm going to again try to keep running some water here. Okay, I'm going to go out and locate, see exactly where we are. We're 90 feet out. Should be off the property. If I am, I can locate it. And anything beyond this point would be the responsibility of the Metropolitan Sewer District. But so I'm going to pause the video here for a second, and we are going to locate exactly how far we are off the main. Okay. Not quite to the main. I actually don't know where the main is now. So we're going to have to see if we can get this to go at least a little further, see if we can find the main. I am 90 feet out. I'm just having some trouble pushing for some reason. I don't know if it's just kind of the buildup where it only made a couple turns, so shouldn't have been too bad. But for some reason I'm having some trouble pushing here at about 90 feet. So we're going to keep seeing if we can get this to move, see if we can make it to the main. Okay, I'm going to pause the video here, locate, and I'm going to call FSD and try to find out where that is the sewer department, and try to find out where the main is. So, again, we're going to pause the video for a second. Okay, so we know the main. I was able to get some records sent, and the main is in the backyard. It's roughly 150 feet off the house. That is a long way.
and it's really hard to tell why my camera is not going any further. But what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to pull back, I think. We'll go a little further, but then I'm going to pull back and I'm going to try a smaller camera. I'm going to pull back and I'm going to try to use a smaller camera with a little standoff on it, and we're going to see if we can make it a little further than this. I know right where this is, I made it to the bottom of the concrete steps in the rear. I'm also going to, as I'm pulling back, look for any clean outs. It is code now to have a clean out every 75 to 100 feet, but back then that wasn't the case. But we're going to look and see if there's any outside access, or also check for any reasoning as to why my camera just all of a sudden is not pushing once we get around 95 feet. So the line does look pretty good. Has a little bit of root intrusion, but nothing of any major concern. It will be something that you will have to monitor and maintenance over the years. That would include either a chemical once a year or so, or cleaning every few years if done well. But I do always recommend that you just have it inspected again in about it's always good to have it inspected about 3 to 5 years after you move in, knowing if you know it's open like this, and give it a few years and just kind of double check and make sure how fast the roots are growing, and that'll give you an idea of how often to maintenance the line. But I mean, everything I've seen here, the roots that are in it are minor, and so right now you could do a chemical treatment and that should be enough to kind of burn the roots back. Looks like that may be a connection there off to the right. I'm going to pause the video again real quick, and we're going to locate this spot and see if I can find a clean out. But I think it's just a connection for a floor drain. Yeah, there's nothing visible there. It looks like it's possibly the downspout that's coming in, tying in. If there is a clean out there, it's buried under concrete. But I'm going to try to, now that we're in this, there's no reason for, I don't really, other than the multiple turns, there's not a real big reason as to why my camera wouldn't make it that far. But we did make it out about 100 feet from the top of the clean out, and so I'm going to switch cameras here, and I'm going to try a smaller camera with that little end on the front and see if that allows us to get further. So I'm going to pause the video and switch cameras. The new camera does not have a self-leveling head, and so you could usually tell what the bottom of the pipe is, but I will narrate as I go still. Okay. I've switched into the smaller camera, and hopefully with this being a little lighter, maybe the water can help take it. Usually it's the opposite. This doesn't have, the line isn't quite as rigid. the camera, with it being a little smaller, isn't quite as clear. Yeah, you can see that the bottom of the pipe now is on the left-hand side of the screen. But what we're looking to do is get out past that roughly 100-foot spot. Obviously the first part of this scope has already been done, so bottom of the pipe is still on the left side. There we go, it is rolled over and now the bottom is on the bottom. But we need to try to see if we can get that lens cleared off a little bit. Already looks like we're further than it was with the big camera. So what we're looking to do is hopefully get about another 35 feet here. Keep that water running. So far I don't see any kind of, I know it's kind of rough to see, this camera's a little hazy, but not sure what's going on here. Doesn't look like much of a lip there. We're facing down into the water. But if it is over my camera, must be diving, hitting a lip and just pushing the camera down. I'm going to go ahead and flush the toilet, see if that helps. was able to get it to jump. Okay, I'm not really sure what is still on the front of this camera, but I can see well enough to see any obstructions or anything, and I know it's kind of tough. It's kind of whited out a little bit. But I'm going to go locate this spot now that it's out about 144 feet. Should be getting really close to the main, and so I haven't seen any. There's no indication of any backups, no indication of any issues at all. But I'm going to go ahead and locate this spot because I think this is just about as far as I'm going to get without there being a clean out somewhere in between. So I'm going to pause the video and go get a locate. Okay. Yeah, we're a few feet off of the main, not many. It's hard to tell exactly where the main is just because I'm going off the map, but I believe I'm within like 10 feet. But can't really get the camera to go any further. So we're going to pull back. We're going to take a look at this spot again where my camera was getting caught, because it looked like I saw some broken, obviously the camera's on its side, and so the bottom is on the right hand side of the screen, and yeah, I wish that you could see a little bit better. There was a spot here where I was having a lot of trouble. Yep, right here. And so this is where I think I'm getting to see how hazy my camera gets. And this thing is falling, it looks like it's falling through possibly, and I see some, You see that light coming through on the bottom of the screen? That is the left side of the pipe. I'm going to go out and locate this spot, and we're going to mark this. I believe there's a hole in the pipe. It does go out the rear, so I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go get a locate. Okay. Yeah, there is a sinkhole and and you can actually see the pipe if you look down in the sinkhole. I cleared it out a little bit, but there's actually a hole. You can see the hole in the side of the pipe. The pipe is barely below the surface. I'm going to recommend, obviously, that this be dug up, repaired, and actually I'm going to recommend that there be a clean out put in right here, a two-way clean out. That way, with like the situation we have here, where I was unable to get it through, and being, 150 feet from the back of the house to the main, based off of the measurements by MSD, that would be, it's going to, you would need better access, and I mean, there is only about 25 feet here that for some reason this camera is extra hazy. This is a very small, like I mentioned, a small small camera versus my other one that has the better picture, but as we talked about, I had a little bit of trouble coming through that. And so I have a little bit of a turn here. So I can see what's going on, but obviously the other camera was a lot clearer, so you would use that footage for the first 100 feet. We did find that broken pipe, and again, I'm going to recommend that they put a clean out in when they dig that up and repair it, because that'll obviously give better access, and there should be another clean out there so you can get back and forth. And, the rest of the line looked great structurally. You know, you had a little bit of roots, but very, very minor, and that's up here. We're inside that 100-foot mark. But all this has already been inspected, so I'm trying to hurry back on this one. Okay, so time out. This was an awfully long video for what it should be, but we were able to find an issue there, about 135 feet, 140 feet, somewhere around in there. There is a broken pipe, and it is visible now from above ground. You can walk out there in the back. I have put two green flags and some green paint actually on the pipe itself, and that'll show where the break is and what needs to be repaired. And again, especially with it being so shallow, put a clean out in so that it's easier to access in both directions, whether it be for cleaning or just future inspection to check the root growth. But that will end the inspection at 3319 Cheviot Ave.